Alright, earlier I showed that I had modified the STL file of the PICARD Tricorder, and basically this is an unfinished result. What I wanted was to add a hand scanner in the portion here that would actually contain the LED array. This version is going to have a little hand scanner that can essentially accomplish the same thing. Also, I noticed when the real version was shown there on video, that the prop master commented that he wanted to be the first one to actually use OEL folding screen. And I did notice that in order for this portion to actually scan, he pushed a button here on the side. So in a way, he's going back to the original style by actually having the actor push a button. And one issue that I found is that actors don't tend to really pay too much attention when they're told to push a button or two. So the original tricorders actually started scanning, this portion started scanning as soon as it was opened. So as soon as the tricorder was opened, it would start scanning, and then the backlight for the screens would all light up, and then the sound effects would be added for the actor to just poke around on the top. So in a way, having a working phone doesn't really solve anything, because in order to tell an actor to push a few buttons is complicated. So basically this version is the same as it would have been in the old days. It is going to be a backlit screen, okay? It will start scanning here, if indeed I do that, when the door is open. So what I ended up doing is printing the top portion last night again. So this is the upper portion of the PICARD Tricorder as it was intended for the scanning array. So as you can see, there's the result of my design of the scanning array. It's essentially a module. It's going to be just like this, and I modified this one slightly from that version because it was never really intended to be used. But now, being that I want to go ahead and put the scanner, the little array, inside the pocket where it belongs, and I also added a charging hole for the cable. This is not only to program the Arduino, but it's also for charging as well. So it's going to use a Arduino microcontroller, and the way it will work is that this will have the LEDs permanently wired in. Okay, so it'll have the controller, LEDs, and the battery wire can be available. I can stick the battery in place once this module is up inside the upper portion. So what will happen is once it's all wired up and tested, it will actually fit through the front, because I'm going to glue the front array part here, the translucent PLA, to the front of this, so that I can be sure that everything is lined up and that it works properly. And in that event, this has to be put in from the front. So it will slide into place just like that, drop in there. The array will sit right up against the pocket right here where it belongs, and it will actually sit smooth and flush and sit right there. We already know it will be a working module. The microcontroller will already be in place, and it will line up with the little hole here for charging, as you see right here. It's got the cable. So I just wanted to touch bases with you that the upper portion that I printed last night is done, and it printed for about 8.5 hours. But yeah, this is it. Turned out really well. Of course, it's going to be cleaned up a little bit of sanding, a little bit of paint, but that's all about prop making. That's what we do. And I just wanted to share that with you. But again, I think it's kind of unusual to have the array start by pushing a button on the side of the tricorder instead of having this phone that they put in there start it for them. So anyway, or some sort of magnetic switch. And again, that's what I'm going to be doing with this. Is it will be a basically a magnetic switch that when partially open, let's say maybe just a little bit, it will make contact, the array will start up, it can go into the scanning mode as it was designed, a little bit of sound effects, this will be backlit, the lighting is already in place, it uses white LEDs, and earlier I showed how that worked, and yeah, so this is so far the first one that I made. Again, it was just a prototype, a mock-up, just to kind of get the general sense of how a non-phone PICARD tricorder would actually work. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching.